Hello, everybody. We are back, this time with less motion sickness. My name is Abinus. I am joined in the booth by Jim from 82nd. Hi, Jim.
Hello, everyone.
So we're back, and we are now back on St. Marie du Mont, on Rue, and we are bringing you action between 10th seeded 143rd Texas and 19th seeded DIB in losers round 1. The loser of this best of 3 is going to go home. The winner is going to move on to losers round 2, which is really, really exciting. So really looking forward to that. What are we looking for in this match? Although I think no, we have started. Okay, we are underway. So what are we looking for in this match? I mean, we just saw Rue on another strong point. Is there something that we're looking specifically for here? Like, I know we talked a lot about the zones of last match. Like, do we think this plays out in a similar way? I don't know too much about either of these two teams, so kind of curious to see how it goes.
Essentially, actually, we're gonna look at who gets the control of the flanks, and then actually start sending out more people in the strong point. I think in the last game that we just watched moments ago is that a lot of squads actually just stood on the flanks and were not rotating towards the point. Essentially, we can already see that one of the squad leaders has actually got to the strong point from DIB side and placed an outpost behind that same building that we actually had it placed in the previous match. And it seems that the guys on the flanks already got into position on the south. Looks like the 104th Texas actually gave up the southern flank for some reason, or northern flank, I mean.
Yeah, we're seeing that the Germans are the attacking team this time. So 143rd is defending his allies, and last game we saw the allies as the attacking team. And we're seeing a big concentration of 143rd inside the strong point. I'm just going to quickly zoom over there, get some elevation here. So we're seeing pretty much a standoff, 6v6 right in the middle here. I think 143rd's got a slight advantage. We are seeing movement on each flank. You see 6 players from DIB are out on the east side, and I see basically 6 players, although 2 of them are down, from 143rd out on the west side. So it's really, it's interesting how Rue just keeps playing to the very center of these houses. Like, no matter what, like there's opportunities for flanks in both directions, but both teams seem to just be super focused on the strong point itself, really not interested in doing that wide action. And
Which is interesting to me right now, actually, is that even though all 3 outposts are placed, the DIB squad leader, Jaji, actually spawned on the garrison. Looks like by mistake.
Oh, that might have been an accident, yeah. And we're seeing just like a Mexican standoff here in the middle. Just no one really moving. Just a lot of stationary gunfights.
Yeah, a lot of smokes, but no movement. And I think DIB are making a really huge mistake right now by giving up the south and actually not controlling that southern wheat fields. Like, they're gonna get outflanked really soon right now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, I'm gonna zoom over there quickly as we see DIB are advancing into the strong point. I am gonna pivot over to this 143rd group on the side here. Yeah, I mean, now you have DIB just kind of running out in the open. 143rd players securing the wide flank. And that's 3 guys with an outpost right there. So I think 143rd in extremely strong position already, like right off rip of this game. DIB has got no control of this flank at all, of the western flank.
Yeah, and they're gonna start feeling it really soon, like within the next 2 minutes or so. We can already see that the outpost actually was placed on the southern side road, I think, from DIB side. The Rat King has moved the outpost closer to Wheatfields.
And we're seeing one of the DIB squad leaders, which actually is part of their second team that's with them, which is the HLL Romanian community. One of their squad leaders just pushed up into 143rd. But it looks like 143rd is going to hold a little shack here, just to the side of the buildings.
Oh, DIB is gonna pay right now, really soon. You see where the sneaky is right now? This AT guy running out?
Yeah, all the way in the back.
That's where the previous outpost was before. and now you can see that they both moved the outposts behind that building on the strong point. That is so in such open place right now that Sneaky can just shoot one rocket and take both outposts down.
Yeah, I think DIB is in big trouble. They have not collapsed on their eastern flank. They're holding okay over there, and they're being matched by a 143rd squad. But yeah, I mean, DIB has got a really precarious hold on the zone right now.
All eyes on Sneaky. All eyes on Sneaky.
Yeah, Sneaky and Mr. No-Go in the back here.
And they don't see the outpost yet. I don't understand. Did the Mister actually see this outpost? Did they spawn in now? Can he comment to Sneaky?
I think Sneaky's got to see it. He's shooting over there. He must have identified, and now there's a mark on it. There is
That's a huge mistake from Sneaky.
But they do.
I don't believe he didn't have any rockets on him.
Yeah, but they do have an infantry mark on the OP now. That is now whole team is now able to see where that is. So they've got at least a mark on it. That's good communication. You've got 2 OPs right there, though. I mean, that's huge. I mean, if both of those OPs for DIB go down, I think 143rd is just going to stroll to the boundary of the map.
I think we're starting to see actually 104th Texas actually starting to control the strong point. I think they need to still put a little bit more pressure on the south side of the strong point and actually start push up and get them wider flanks, angles on those 2 outposts. But in general, they're in position to actually cap a few grenades over the house, and the cap progress is going to go to their way.
Yeah, definitely 143rd with a commanding position at this point. We're seeing some smoke coming out from both teams trying to cover movement, but I think 143rd feels really good right now. Like they're in a very commanding position. You know, they were defending, which means that at least the one thing that this DIB team is going for them is they don't need to worry about like an outpost reset if they don't capture, right? So at least they have that. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, 143rd with all the pressure, good positioning, using the buildings, using the trench positions along the buildings. A nice rocket nearly catches a couple of guys there from DIB. But yeah, DIB really kind of on the back foot right now. 143rd getting a strong position right off the start.
And what we can actually see right here is the same thing that happened with BWC and 1CDO match. That's northern side, they're just holding a front line, both of the teams, and they're not even trying to get closer to the strong point. Actually, if we look at the DIB team, they're slowly trying to move on, but you can see that they don't really intend to do it on purpose, while their actual 2 squads are struggling to push inside the strong point right now.
Yeah, and I should clarify just in case there are questions. DIB is in orange, 143rd is in blue. So DIB playing Axis, they are currently on the right side of your screen, 143rd allies in blue on the left side. We are seeing an MG from DIB putting in some work on that building. There's an MG in there. Oh, and a rocket, a very nice rocket.
Yeah, both outposts are down.
Oh, and as I'm looking at the fight on the side. So did the player go down that got him, or did they get up to it with a grenade or something?
I didn't actually see that, but the outposts, both outposts are just gone. Squad leader is still alive there, though. And the second...
Let's see. Okay, Unz gets a big kill. There's one more player. Gen Painmake is coming up.
I think they're in a really bad position right now. Even if even if Unz places his outpost, it is in position to be really taken out quickly.
He doesn't have a choice. He's got to place it in the high risk zone, but he does with a car. Is he car 98 squad leading? Is that what that is? That is commitment right there. He just dropped a guy. Yeah, he is. He is car 98 squad leading. Yeah. So, but that was really interesting. He won an engagement against a BAR at like super close range and actually kept his OP up. And even if they can just get one spawn in, they do get Marcus in. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a high risk, high reward situation. If DIB can actually start piling their squads into the backside of that building, I actually think they could maybe do something. 143rd, a couple of good grenades could eliminate most of their team right now on strong point.
To be honest, I'm liking that they lost both outposts, because right now we can see that the most of the team on the DIB side is actually starting to push on the south side, the wheat fields that they gave up really easily right now, and now they have a chance actually to take them away. It doesn't matter whether you control the point at the middle of the game, it's whoever holds it at the end wins, right? So map control is really important right now, and they are now in position to actually try to retake.
Yeah, this is a weird match. I have to say, this is a weird one. Like, 143rd is pretty comfortably in the strong point, but you're right, they don't really have any kind of map control. They've kind of just... They're kind of just planted on it. Like, there's no real movement happening. There's not a lot of gunfire happening. There's no real effort to, like, dislodge this DIB squad that's behind this building here that I'm zooming in on. Although a grenade does get the OP, so Unce has got to stay alive. And he does... Oh, and as I say that, you know, it's just... It's amazing how that happens. So Unce now goes down, and his OP goes down. So DIB is now, I think, going to lose all of their positioning close to the strong point, and they might have to all start from zero, basically.
I think it's not going to be that bad because we can see that 103rd actually are not pushing. It's really interesting to look at their playstyle actually, because they're holding angles. They kind of remind me from last year's 7 Cav.
Yeah,
they play pretty similarly right now.
Yeah, just kind of holding a wide line and holding a bunch of angles, yeah.
Yeah. And essentially, from most teams that they're playing in this tournament, you'll always see somebody trying to push up. Like, there will always be some lurkers trying around and trying to push through all the smokes and stuff like that to get OPs. These guys decided to hold, to defend. So far, it's working for them, but I think they're giving up too much space for DIB to get back into positions.
Felix is holding on for dear life in this bush right now. Marcus is looking at him. We'll see. Oh, Felix shooting with a pistol. This is a fun engagement right here on the backside of the building. And the pistol, Felix with the pistol gets him. Felix gets Marcus. He goes down. So love our medics.
Is a bushwick, you guys.
Yes. And we love our pistol medics, man. They've been putting in work so far in this tournament. I've seen more kills with a pistol than I expected thus far. So yeah, now I agree with you. Like 143rd is kind of just like, I'm going to zoom out quickly to just kind of show you the state of the line. You know, you're seeing a wide line from 143rd on your right in blue. But DIB is kind of getting back to their old positions. And I agree with you. I think, you know, it's okay to play a more static game the way 143rd is playing, but it does leave you open to what DIB is doing right now in the middle with the smoke, as you can see this. They are starting to advance actually fairly close to a pretty weak spot in the 143rd line. There's just a single MG there.
Especially when you know that you destroyed an outpost. Like, Felix is now in a position where the outpost was before. They got it with a grenade, and at that point, when you know that you destroyed an outpost, you need to push. You need to take away the ground that they held before.
And now I'm going to come back over to JJ, I'm going to say is his name, from the HLL Romanian community, which is part of the DIB team. And we'll see, like, is he thinking, he's being quiet so far, maybe just looking for the right angle, thinking he can maybe spot an OP. Bradley is coming over. We'll see if they run into each other.
Charlie Cap.
Bradley decides to play with a carbine, though, instead of a pistol.
Oh, and he goes down, so Rasputinor gets him. That's a nice name.
Oh, look, Felix is going to engage 6 guys with a pistol right now.
Oh.
No, you got it.
He ate it. He definitely ate it right there. Really, you know, 143rd strategy is fine. We're hearing some communication from Felix there. It's fine, but I think against a team that is more aggressive, 143rd will pay a lot to do this.
Take a look at the north side, though. I like what Nicky Poo is doing, actually. He's pushing up north, and he'll get some sightlines in their outposts. What I want also to see is the rest of the guys on the north side to push up. I think MG is in a good position to mow down the bushes, essentially. But the rest of the guys need to push up and take the control of the north and trees and hedgerows.
Absolutely. And we're starting to see DIB use that position on the German side to maybe stage some kind of an attack from on the west side of the map here. And we see a trade go down there, a rifleman and a squad leader go down. You know, eventually DIB is, you know, I mean, they've got time. We're about halfway through this game, so it's not like DIB is in like massive trouble yet. But they are going to have to try and flip this zone at some point. I don't think they want to wait until the last possible minute. So I think that moment is going to come sooner rather than later.
I think the play right now is, given, if you read the game right now, try to read the game, given that the 103rd are not actually trying to push out right now, and they're holding that side of the strong point, I think it's enough to have only one squad next to the strong point and try to fight it off, and then actually send both two squads to push south side, where the Mike Lol is sitting right now, and those hedges, and start pushing out 103rd from the south side, and then getting inside the strong point from a different side.
I agree. And I think DIB is going to try and play this flank, but so far 143rd doing a pretty nice job of at least keeping eyes on it. We'll see if they can deny it fully. But you're right. I mean, like 143rd kind of playing a more passive defense in depth strategy. Although I do need to zoom in over here. We have a rifleman that's totally broken through from 143rd. This is Nicky. And he's now working his way up the hedge line towards the outpost from DIB.
You can also see the squad leader moving up there to move up the OP, he seems.
Yes. So J-Fro is coming up.
So yeah, the DIB are getting less and less time to actually start to push that south. As soon as the outpost goes up on the north side from 103rd, DIB will gonna have really tough time on the strong point.
And we have, like, I mean, point blank range here. Nicky and Leroy run right into each other and Nicky, I don't think, ever quite figures out where Leroy is. Or Leroy, I should say. So DIB is able to hold that flank just barely. I'm going to pivot back now to the other side of the map. And we're seeing an automatic rifleman from DIB is getting through the backside, although Mr. Nago is looking at him. Mr. No-Go, I should say. So I think Winter just got converged on by a couple of players from 143rd there. So
can you check whether J-Fro actually has moved his outpost?
Yeah, let me go look.
On the north side?
He's got it right about... no, he has not moved it. It is still in the house. So he is...
That's a huge mistake.
He never brought it up, and he probably should have. I agree with you entirely. But I will say that the 143rd outpost placement from a defensive structure is quite solid. They've got a nice line of OPs ranging from G3 bottom side to H3 in the center. So, I mean, for a defensive structure, like for the game plan that 143rd seems committed to doing, I think their OP is fine, but I agree with you. That was a missed opportunity to try and reclaim some ground, because you're seeing now, DIB is now just kind of walking right up the middle.
Look at the strong point, how 103rd actually are spacing themselves. It's really interesting to see. Like, they're not bunching up, obviously, but the spacing looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just it looks like a lot of different angles being held. Looks like they've got both sides of that structure. One thing I've noticed with this particular match in particular, nice English there, is that I have not seen a lot of active MG fire from 143rd. Like the MGs seem to be pretty reactive. Like they're waiting for movement and then they're firing. They're not like actively trying to suppress down where they think DIB might be. And I think that might be part of the reason why DIB has advanced as far as they have. Like they just haven't really been super suppressed the whole game. Like I'm looking at this MG right now on the back side of the point from 143rd, and he's just kind of sitting. Like he's just waiting for something instead of trying to actively suppress. As I say that, there's a 143rd squad leader that somehow broke through, and is he gonna get... So the Rat King from 143rd breaks through somehow. I don't really know how he got there, and now he's running through into the back line of DIB on this west side. He does go down, so someone finds him. But that was really good from Rat King. He almost just broke it open for his team on that side.
And actually, they have lost one of the outposts. Easy squad leader... No, Easy squad leader has lost his outpost, and Charlie squad leader actually just abandoned his outpost and actually starts running from the garrison right now too to replace it.
So we're seeing some repositioning now. DIB still has people where the OPs were, but they're having to bring their spawns back in.
Oh, another OP just went down. Looks like J-Fro squad actually is starting to push north and getting up those OPs. Or no, okay, so DIB decided strategically to shift their squad on the north side. Like Baker squad leader Xantheon has moved his outpost on purpose, and now he's trying to regain control on the north side, which I think is a correct play right now.
Yeah, he's looking for the wider angle to maybe like outflank the flank, so to speak. which I think is definitely a correct play. Because I think, do you think at this point, like, the DIB squad leaders have picked up the fact that 143rd just isn't really pushing out? I'm sure at this point they've kind of picked up on that. So I wonder, are they like, well, we can just kind of sit here and, like, try to just do a different angle,
But yeah, like even if they acknowledge that, like right now they're sitting like a can of tuna or something like behind that house, and they can't get out of it at all. Like
yeah, they're kind of stuck.
One smoke, second smoke, and they're just sitting there. It will not lead them anywhere.
And still, like just look at the concentration. 143rd still sticking pretty much a full squad and change in on the strong point itself. So I think this is going to come down to the final couple of minutes. If 143rd were more aggressive, and maybe they'll shift into a more aggressive stance here, which is not what I would do, but maybe that's what they're going to think in the final few minutes. Like, maybe we'll see this start to like look definitive in one way or the other. But like, DIB is just close enough that they could still do something with a couple of good, couple of good kills, couple of good grenades. I mean, anything can happen. And now look at this DIB squad now kind of running free on the very eastern side of the map.
Yeah, and the one thing I hope they're not gonna make a mistake on is just stay there. They need to start pushing towards the strong point across this like stone fence.
Be curious to see if they actually try to secure this house or not. Because if they can secure that house, that definitely changes the complexion of the match. Then that's going to force 143rd into a really like defensive perimeter. And I will tell you, in last week's match against TAW, 143rd basically did this exact same strategy. They basically just kind of grabbed the strong point and then they played wide. And what TAW did is that over the course of the whole match, TAW just basically closed in on them from every possible angle, pinched off all their outposts, secured the strong point with a few minutes to go and won. So, like, 143rd not being deterred from their previous experience, they're going to try it again. And so far, they're doing okay. They're holding on, but I still think too close for comfort. I think DIB, with a correct set of cards, could probably break through and capture the point.
I think DIB have not done their homework at all. They don't recognize that the southern side, the western side on the map, actually is the most key area to fight off. Because it's so hard to push out enemies if they control that southern side there of the strong point.
We're seeing, I got to pivot over here now. We have an automatic rifleman from 143rd that has come all the way to the back, and he gets dropped by a spawn. Basically, DIB's entire team just spawns in and finds Mr. On the back line. It looks like Mr. No-Go has really been the kind of the player from 143rd that has been venturing out looking for kills. And he's gotten deep a few times, but hasn't quite finished the job.
It was Mr. No-Go and Sneaky before that were the first ones, I think, to get behind them, right?
So they've had the right idea. They're doing the right things. They just haven't quite executed. We're down to about 7 minutes to go in this match. I'm seeing grenades going everywhere on the strong point right now. Really, really chaotic in and around the point. We got smoke. We got grenades.
Okay, they did lose one of the outposts, so now one full squad actually has really poisoned Gares.
Okay, yeah. So 143rd, I mean, that's big. That's going to buy 143rd at least a couple minutes of time. Even if DIB wants to go in strong to the strong point, I don't really think that they can. They just don't have the numbers. They're going to have to wait. And I think DIB really has one more strong push to the zone with that OP going down. I think that's all they can do. So, they still have one squad that's right behind the hedge line that is capable if they can just get some angles, and they just haven't been able to get out behind this hedge line, and a grenade finishes off the squad leader there. If they could just get from that hedge line to those buildings with some smoke, I think DIB would actually be in business around the strong point, but just being shut down consistently here. So props to 143rd. And like, I'm pretty sure some of these players from 143rd have not moved in like 15 minutes. I think
yes, and I can't believe what I'm watching right now. Like, you see La Bombova is sitting behind that house where the outpost was. He's holding the hedgerow. Is he communicating even that there's nobody? Push up, guys. Like, they're just sitting in the same places as the strong point.
Yeah.
Drinking coffee.
They're kind of just content. Like, it looks like 143rd, either from lack of... Oh, here's the MG. Maybe, let's see. He's trying to melee him. Oh, and Lompov. Oh, my goodness. He's going with a melee. A guy goes down in front of him. Oh, my goodness. Is he going to get him?
Black Spades, are you blind?
The run of a century. He goes down. Redmond kills him. Bombova gets 2 with a melee, watches a squad leader drop in front of him from his teammates. I mean, that was one of the most unbelievable things I've seen in this game. That really was amazing. We saw a great melee kill last week in the EW Aru match, but that was amazing because he got 2 in a wide open field. How did that even happen?
I almost got my melee kill as well against DC in the one house, but then MG suddenly decided to move, turn right while he was stationary, and his body went into the wall, so I hit the wall instead.
That was unbelievable what I just saw. That was actually really something. I've never quite seen something like that.
That was weird. Yeah, the guy next to him didn't even see him running there.
It's just so interesting, how this is going. I think, if there had been any forward push from 143rd at any moment in this match, as we see Bombova's going back, he's looking for it again. I think if they just forward pushed at any moment, they would have completely boxed out DIB. But there just seemed to be a complete lack of willingness from 143rd to do so. And now you are seeing, look at this big push coming in. DIB now is closing in on the strong point, and there was briefly capture progress, which is really exciting.
What you can see right now is the DIB actually doing what they have not done this game yet, starting to push away from that building. Yeah,
this is just such an interesting match. But you're right, Bombova does smell blood. He grabs 2 on the corner of the building. Is 143rd going to be able to hold on here? I really don't know.
Ooh, the south side. DIB has taken control of the south side.
Yeah, they're advancing in pretty decent number. It's 4v4 over there. This is... I really don't know if 143rd can hold on.
How much time do we have left?
A little over 3 minutes. So DIB now in a lot of interesting positions. They actually could maybe grab this out from 143rd at the very end.
To be honest, I don't believe it. I don't believe that DIB actually will turn it around because 103rd are not moving at all. They're just holding angles, and it's much easier to hold angles. So maybe actually this game plan will work out for them.
This is wild. This is
DIB needs to smoke. DIB needs to smoke.
They need to smoke that whole road. And you're right. The angles being held by 143rd are great, although
it's contesting.
Yeah, I mean, we might see overtime. I do believe DIB can maybe force an overtime. And
Another knife kill. Rat King just got a kill.
I missed it on stream. Oh no, maybe I did see it. I wasn't looking, but I think I might have captured it at a long distance. 143rd, I think, just holding on for dear life here, as we're seeing DIB players. We have Winter, the automatic rifleman, trying to get around. He's looking for the corner. He drops 1. I'm looking at the map. I mean, I think 143rd has enough position to kind of hold on for the very end. But can he... Sorry, can DIB at least force overtime, I think is now the question. I don't know if they're going to be able to capture it outright. Oh, I think overtime is totally possible.
One thing they can definitely do right now is try to move the OPs closer to strongpoint and actually get all 18 players in the strongpoint, because 103rd are a little bit spread out, so the capture progress would go into their way. Essentially, right now, I think they need just 3 more guys in the strongpoint element, and they'll start capturing.
And I think they just have to go. If you're DIB at this point, you've got to just there's no choice. You got 90 seconds on the clock. You might as well just full send it. Just go straight up and just run it in. If you die, you die, but at least try to force
when you know
overtime.
that they're giving you space. You can move that OP just inside the strongpoint by that building and start pushing out with the whole team.
And I think that speaks to, these are 2 new teams to the format. And I think it speaks to some of the inexperience from both teams that, some of the openings that me and you are seeing are just not being taken advantage of fully. And that's just really interesting. That's just a really... 143rd has kind of allowed this to happen. If they had just taken a bit more of an aggressive line, if they had just pushed to the hedge line in big numbers, I think they would have probably prevented DIB from getting in. But now look at this huge group of DIB players. They're amassing behind the house on the left-hand side of your screen, and they're about to go run in. I mean, we are seeing a little bit of capture progress come in for a second. Oh
We have
boy.
only 30 seconds right now.
30 seconds. They just got to just smoke it and run. But I think, I mean, look at the concentration of 143rd in and around this strong point. I don't know if there's enough time.
That spacing is giving. That spacing is everything. I think right now they have several lines of defense right now. If one goes down, the second one actually helps them out.
Yeah, it's a defense in depth, and it's working. It is totally working.
But it's working only because they actually did not
Take
secure
advantage.
the flanks.
Exactly.
Take advantage of that. Yeah.
It's basically like a strategic blunder that is working because of, I think, the relative inexperience of this DIB team. So maybe, you know, this is a best of 3. And I shouldn't say that DIB is inexperienced in HLL. I think they're just inexperienced to the format and the game mode. And time does expire there. So we do see 143rd picks up the first match. And honestly, I mean, props to them. Like, they walked in with a game plan, and it did work against this opponent. So you got to give them that. I think 143rd maybe needs to go back to the drawing board against a more experienced team in the format. But it got the job done here, and that's what counts. They do walk out with a win in this first match. Curious to see if we come back here for a third match in an hour or so. I'd be really curious to see if that happens. Any final takeaways of this match, Jem? I mean, this was a weird one. This had some really interesting moments. We had the double melee in the open field. We had a bunch of missed outposts. Like this match kind of had it all.
I think the key takeaway for me in this game is that a lot of players that love running around and shooting can learn something from 103rd Texas team, because that's also a thing that actually our team ourselves is struggling sometimes, is that people get into positions and then they don't hold them when it's important.
Yeah, and as you see the map flip as they prepare for match 2. I agree. I think 143rd definitely like did that strategy perfectly, but it's a dangerous strategy against a team that moves fast, is what I would say. So curious to see if they employ that same strategy again, and if they can maybe pull out a 2-0 victory in that loser round 1. So we will be back in about 25-30 minutes. We'll be bringing you match 2 of Lost Legion and HLY in just a little bit. My name is Abinus. I was joined by Jem, and I think Jem will be joining us for the third match of today, and we might have a fourth. We'll see. We might get a best of 3, so stick around. We'll see you all in a little bit. Thanks a lot, Jem.